Okay, Edgar Castillo was a state champion last year, and he started out at 145 pounds this year, and we just saw what a tough weight that is with Kelly Gable and Horgan. So last weekend at regionals, he moved up to 152 pounds to try to help himself get in the state championship match. Of course, he'd lost to Shields from Goodland. He'd lost to Nichols from Garden City, kid from Dumas, Texas. He'd lost to Coster from Hoxie at 145, and he just felt like he'd be better off at 152. Last week in the regional finals, he lost a 1-1 overtime decision to Brandon Hilly from Waukene. And now he's after Kyle Wright, who's ranked #1 in the state.
Castillo will pick up 2 points now. He's got the 2-point lead over Kyle Wright. 1:35 on the clock in the first period. Castillo in the black and white. Wright is in the Norton blue and gold.
Castillo's had 2 close matches in this tournament. Boy, it looks like he doesn't want this one to be too close.
This is a surprise.
He beat Lance Zerflu from southeast of Saline 3-2 in the semis last night. And then he wrestled Noah Claus from Atchison County in an overtime, won 12-10. And Claus is a freshman, so he's had a tough way through this tournament.
Kyle Wright really getting himself into a lot of trouble there with Castillo. These are 2 very talented wrestlers. The score now 5-0. Castillo has the lead. We've got 54 seconds left in the first period. Looks like they'll be off the mat again.
Well, right now you have to say that looked like a pretty smart move moving up a weight. Wright got here by 2 2-point decisions and a 3-point decision. So neither one of them's had an easy way through this. This is a tough weight class this year. I've watched it very closely because my own son wrestles in this weight class, and it's a tough class.
Wright doing everything he can now. He doesn't want to give up too many points. He's down by 5-0, and his team desperately needs these points if they've got any chance of catching up with Hoxie. They're checking Castillo now. Going to take an injury timeout. Looks like his chin might be bleeding.
Well, both of them have lost to Brandon Hilly from Waukene, so I don't know what that tells us. It just tells us that at some point in their life, they lost a wrestler who wound up in this tournament placing 5th.
We're taking an injury timeout now as they check out Edgar Castillo's chin. It looked like he rubbed it on the mat, but enough that it would bleed a little bit. They're going to get that taken care of real quick. They don't let that slide.
That blood issue's become very important in wrestling with the age problem, and they like to get that blood taken care of as soon as possible. Used to be when you started bleeding, you just kept on going, and they hoped that you didn't mess up the mat too bad before the match was over.
Castillo none the worse for wear. He's got a 5-point lead, and he's in the top position in this first period. 27 seconds left on the clock.
As you can see, you look at those arms, we've got 2 pretty powerful wrestlers out there right now.
Wright's going to pick up a couple of points for himself. He gets 1.51 to score now.
I know people that have wrestled Edgar Castillo have told me that he's probably one of the strongest people they've ever met. He's very powerful in those arms and shoulders.
Time runs out in the first period, 5-1. Castillo has the lead over Kyle Wright. We saw that when he got that near pin on Kyle Wright. We saw the strength in the arms and in the upper body. He held Wright down there for quite a long time, and it was all strength. Kyle Wright was giving it everything he had, trying to break away, but Castillo was able to hold him.
Interesting thing about this is that Wright's a sophomore and Castillo's a junior. Neither one of them is going to be leaving us this year. Castillo's got that cradle wrapped up tight.
And he got the pin.
Coach, referee Michael Brown has kind of a flamboyant way of calling those pins, but there's no doubt about it when he gets through.
Castillo picks up the pin, 1:38 on the clock in the second period. Another important match. This is a big win. I guess I should say it's a big loss for Norton. They're slowly losing all hopes of catching up with Hoxie. You see it in slow motion. Watch the pin now. You can see the upper body strength. Look at the power there in Castillo, and there's not a thing Wright can do. Now, this is the second time in this match that Castillo had Wright in this situation. Neither time you see there Wright trying to kick his leg out, trying to break that hold, and Castillo just has the strength to hold Wright down and to control that match. He comes out the championship at the 152-pound weight class.
Well, it had to be a good decision then. It worked.
It worked.
We have medals at 145. Sixth place was Josh Lawrence of Harrington. Fifth place, Jared Rigdon of Caney Valley. Fourth place, Dan Wynn from Trigo County. Third, Adam Coster from Hoxie. Second place, Tim Horgan from Rossville. And the champion, Kelly Gable from St. Francis.
Third place medal winner from Hoxie High School.
Waiting for them to catch up to us on the... You're going too fast for them. Those wrestlers can't move that fast.
Well, if I don't go fast, I get behind.
We'll be moving on to the 160-pound championship match.